Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Professor T, and welcome to another edition of the Business Startup Journey. Our business owners and entrepreneurs are actively learning how to start a business with little or no money and no experience. I'd like to invite all of our listeners to subscribe to the podcast channel for weekly episodes. I would also like to encourage you to visit professort.montfichet.com and download our study guides. The website is listed in the channel. The study guides will be uploaded weekly and will reflect our podcast series. It's also important that you obtain your free personalized business portfolio by subscribing at the bottom of our page at professort.montfichet.com. This will give you access to the documents needed to build your personalized business portfolio. Okay, team, now that we paid the bills, let's get ready to rock and roll. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for coming back and tuning into another episode of the Business Startup Journey. Just so you know that our goal is to teach you or assist you in starting a business with little or no money and no experience. We want your foundation to be as solid as a rock, because that's what's going to make us thrive into the future. Okay, so enough with that. Let's just jump right in and get started. So guys, today's topic is estimating your cost for starting a business. This is the one that, we're going to really have to pay attention to. And now is where we get into the nitty gritty and we start learning how to do things and putting things into action, putting the dream, putting the plan, putting the niche, putting everything that we've already worked hard at into action. All right, so now that I'm done with that tangent, let's go ahead and get started with estimating your cost of starting a business. Let's start by jumping in and saying it's time for you and I to do the math. We're really going to have to make sure that we're mapping out where the direction of our business is going. We're going to have to start by using reality and conventional wisdom. We have to rely on that. Now is the time where we start figuring out your expenses and the startup costs. When I say a startup cost, I'm talking about everything from the pens and the pencils, if you're working from home, the stationaries, the printer paper, or if you're working in a standalone store, the rent of the building, the chairs that's going to be in there, just anything that's going to cost. We're going to have to really figure out the expenses and the startup cost. So where can we go first to get this money or obtain funding to start our business? And on the paper, I have a lot, or on the study guide, I have a lot of suggestions that are on there. And these are common suggestions. You can ask your friends if they want to participate or donate to your cause or your business just to get the startup. You can rely on family members. You can use your personal savings. You can use credit cards, which I don't really want to say use those, but that is an option. And in some cases, you have no other choice. You have to use a credit card for unexpected expenses. You also can obtain a bank loan. And that's why we're creating a business plan. So if your direction is to obtain a bank loan or funding from any other organization, when we get to the business loan portion, this will work great for you. So keep that in mind, guys. So moving forward, as business owners and entrepreneurs, we need to understand that it is our job to keep track of the money. We need to make sure that we're managing our money properly. We don't want to be those companies that just, go by the wind and then all of a sudden the business is not theirs. Because if you have to plan this out. So please keep that in mind. So I have some tools that I want to suggest to you that you can use to really map out the business of the money of your business. The finances is what I'm trying to get at. So the tools that I want to recommend are QuickBooks, Quicken, and Microsoft Office Accounting. So those are 3 tools that you can use to manage your money. Monitor your business financials. Keep that in mind, and I really want to stress that. Now, another avenue that you can find money to start your business is considering an investor, and that's what I spoke of earlier. They tend to keep a low profile because they don't want to advertise and be available to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. That's a little something my mom used to say when we were growing up. So they don't want to make themselves available to everyone, but they want to make themselves available to those that they feel are going to be a good fit with them. Networking is going to be a good way to really, really find out who they are. They'll be out there, they're talking, they're mingling at different events, and that's where you have to put your best foot forward. You can also find investors by referrals. So if someone that you know can refer you to them, you can use that as an advantage. So guys, let's talk a little bit about networking, because this is off topic, but I need to throw this in there because it's very much so important. Although your business is not 100% running or functioning, or if you're in the startup process, you haven't registered the business, this is the time that you should be taking to network. Attend different events, whether it's free or whether it's not free, but you need to be using this time to really network. And the reason why I say that is because this is a journey, and the journey begins now. And if your goal is to rush through the journey, you're going to miss all the attributes and the fun that goes on with developing and building your business. So keep that in mind. There are things that you will experience and people you will meet, but if you keep your head down trying to run to the end goal, you're going to miss it all. So take the time now, because this is the time that you'll have. And I attend events all over, and how I learn about them is I go to the public library. They tend to always have some things for the fall or the summer or whatever have you. But some of those events are free, and well, most of them are free. So that's a good way to start. Another way to find local events is going to be through the Chamber of Commerce. So you choose which Chamber of Commerce you want to participate in, and then you start pulling from their networking events. Sometimes, since you're not a member, they're going to have a $10 or $15 fee to participate. But trust me, it is well worth it. You will meet a wide range of different people in the area that you're living. So I stress that highly, that you really get out there, meet people, network, attend different events. And it doesn't always have to be business events. It can be regular events, because business people attend regular things as well. So keep that in mind. That is going to be my rant and testimony for the day. So keep that in mind, guys. So now I want to give you guys what I call a reality check about the cost or the financials of your company. Okay? So this is just plain simple English, a reality check. Raising money takes a long time. Plan out your process. And you got to consider that. It is a long time. So if you said, I'm going to raise this money in 1 year, you need to consider it being twice as long. So when I started building my business, I started building it as of October 2018. I decided that, yes, I'm going to branch off from whom I'm with, and I'm going to create something new. So I got it. I jumped in and started reading as much as I could. I rented books from the library. I took different topics. I analyzed it. I outlined it. I also attended events through an organization called score.org. I attended some of their events. I got involved with them. I also got involved with the Small Business Administration, and I started feeling out and learning different people in the niche that I'm in and in the industry that I'm in. So that's how I started, and I started building from there. And now I'm where I'm at, and I'm making a presence online because I'm trying to reach a broader audience. And it's working out really well. But the process and the planning and the raising money, yes, it's correct. It took twice as long for me to get to where I'm at. So a part of that reality check, we want to plan for several months of searching for funds, okay? So we're going to search for our funds, but we're going to plan it for several months. We want to make sure that we're taking time to plan out what we want to do, how we're going to look for funds, and move from there. Now, after you complete that plan, you have to really, really understand that it's going to take 6 more months before you can even get your hands on that money. So once they clear you for it and say, yes, it's a go, you have to understand there's going to be another wait process before you can get that money. And when I talk in terms of this, I'm talking from investors or if you're looking for a bank loan or whatever have you. The process is not a fast or, a fast road. That's why I always say, continue the journey, enjoy the journey until you reach that end point. Because once you get to there where your business is creating all of this money, you're going to be pulled in several different ways. So now is the time to enjoy the people that you know and meet that's helping you start up your business. Now, guys, you have to balance your time because raising money will take you away from the business startup journey. So once you start making that plan, you have to make sure that you're continuing to work in your business or on your business. So make sure that you're planning that out because the money process can be so tedious that you'll forget about everything else. So make sure that we're keeping our goals and our schedules in order. Now, I forgot to mention, but if you did not already do so, log on to professorT.montfichet.com, click the study guide button, locate the study guide that we're dealing with now, which is estimating your costs for starting your business, and print that out. And use that when you're going through this podcast series, because now is the time where you're going to need it. So now we're going to talk a little bit about completing the expense worksheet. And I have that listed at the bottom. So the example of the expense worksheet is down there, but let me just first say you should use an Excel document to complete the task. So consider using that. Microsoft Office for Business gives you an opportunity to really understand and guide your business. And if you don't have the training on that, you should really search out to obtain training. And another good resource is Goodwill. If you're not sure of it, you can, reach out to Goodwill. They always have some type of technical training courses that you can obtain for the Microsoft Office or the Excel. So back to the expense worksheet, you can add any item you want that's listed on there that's not already listed, because this needs to be personalized and individual to you. So make sure that you fill this out. And this is the time we're going to really utilize your personalized business portfolio. So you can log this in there and then we can move forward because there's a tab in there for that. So make sure that we're executing that, guys. And when you're completing this worksheet, take your time. Do not rush. Don't think it needs to be done anytime. You can probably add as much as things as you can on there right now, and then realize that later on you might need to add some more or take something off. And that's totally okay. This is your business expense sheet. So you really need to make sure it's personalized to you specifically. So guys, on the study guide, there's a list of things that I consider for a startup cost. So, and these things tend to be similar across the board. So they're listed as the fictitious name, if that's what you're going to get for your business structure, your LLC name, and the searchability for it. And there's other things on there as well. So take your time and look on that list. You'll find the articles of filing articles of organizations in your EIN number, which is your employee identification number, and your state employer identification number, guys. So take your time. Read over the list and move from there, guys. So let's take a look at the actual list. So I got this list from a booklet that's here in the state of Georgia. It's called How to Start a Business, a guide for Georgia entrepreneurs, Small Business Development Center, University of Georgia. If you're able to look at that title and get a copy of that PDF, it is awesome. It gives you a lot of resources, and I rely on it a lot. So remember, the title's there. If you can obtain it, it's there online somewhere. Actually, I'll take a look and see if I can add the link. No promises, but I'm going to try to add the link for it in this in the podcast itself. So the first listing that's on there is called your personal monthly expenses. And this includes everything. You have to really think when you say everything. It includes house payments or rent, maintenance and repairs, home or renter's insurance, and the list goes on. I'm not going to talk about all of them. But when you're completing this plan, this personal monthly expense plan, you need to plan it out for 3 months in advance. So think of it like that. Okay, I'm going to plan it out 3 months in advance, maybe the month I'm in now, and anticipate what's coming up next 2 months. And do the same thing with your personal expenses on the second page. So the second page has a little bit more details on there, such as loans, insurance, maintenance, repairs, things like that. So combine the two of them together and really, really analyze it for the process. So the second part is going to be the one-time expenses needed to obtain a business. And this is a little bit of the list that I had mentioned earlier, but this one's a lot more detailed. It includes accounting fees, legal fees, license and permits, which I talked about earlier. But here's one: utility deposits, deposits for leasing deposits. So you got to really anticipate that. And this list really makes you think: telephone installation, inventory for the product if you're going to be selling, and then office supplies. So really, really pay attention to that list and estimate what you will need or what you're already expending. Then the third list is called the business expense for 1 month. And once you complete it for 1 month, you generally have an outline for the next few months, as long as the spending in those areas do not fluctuate. So if you feel that one of these areas listed under the business expense for 1 month is going to fluctuate, then yes, create another month, 1 or 2 months into the head, just to make sure that you're on board and you're safe. So the business expenses for 1 month include straightforward the salary of the owner. What are you paying yourself for this business? Then it goes into employee payroll. And there's a lot of different, we'll talk about those areas in future podcasts as to how to really staff people in there, or if you outsource it. So I won't give you my opinions on it yet, but I will when we talk about those directly. Then there's payroll taxes, there's advertising and marketing, there's operating supplies. There's so many different things underneath that area. So really take a dive in, dig in, look at it, and really identify the areas that are related to you. So guys, I can't express how important it is to really spend some time and fill out that whole expense worksheet, those 3 different worksheets. And the reason is because it gives you a clear idea as to what you want to do and the direction of your company. And a lot of us don't do it, and we jump right in, and the expenses start to pile up. The unknown expenses is the scary part. And once you have those happening, it might just stop your business from where it needs to go, or you have to backtrack to really fix those areas, or really make sure that those areas are not fluctuating. So moving along. So the final page in the study guide is called estimating your cost of your startup. So now this is where we find out what is the cost of our startup and what we need. Okay. So now we did all those numbers, and the final part is here. You take your one-time expenses, that's from that worksheet, you input that number or amount there. So you have your one-time expenses, and then you add that to your business expenses for 1 month. So you take that, and then you multiply that by 3 to 9 months. So the business expenses for 1 month, you're going to take that total. We'll multiply it by 3 at first, and then that equals the approximate funds you need to start your business going into 3 months. So mind you, this is just a rough draft of where we expect to go as a business. I know what I just said might seem a little confusing. Take the one-time expenses, you add that to your business expenses, and you multiply that by 3 to 9 months, and that equals the approximate funds you need. But listen, it's outlined it's in the study guide. Go to Montfichet.com. Go to b.montfichet.com. Click on the study guide link, and then locate this particular podcast, which is called Estimating Your Startup Costs for a Business. And then the equation is there at the bottom. And again, it's a one-time expense. You add that to your business expense. You take that and multiply that by 3 to 9 months, and that equals the approximate funds needed. So this is really good graph to understand where we're going. So guys, I understand that was a lot, and it is a lot. But we have to really start managing our money. And that's why at the beginning of the podcast, when we all started, I had said, it's time for you and I to do the math. I'm doing the math for my business. You're doing the math for your business. But you know what? We're getting a solid foundation. And that is so important, because if you can maintain that solid foundation through the life of your business, you are projected to last over 5 years and really be substantial and profitable. And that is our goal. And that's what I'm trying to create, is that network so that we could all be successful and move forward together. So guys, I know it's a lot, and I know it's a lot of studying to do, but don't give up. Don't give up on the process. Don't give up on yourself, and do not give up on your business. Trust me, you're going to make a difference today, because we need all entrepreneurs, all dreamers to really implement your dream so we can change the landscape of the United States and the world. So our next couple of podcasts are really going to be detailed, because we need this material to really start building our business plan. So this week we studied on the estimating the cost of your startup. And next week we're going to be creating your business financial feasibility plan. So that's important. So we need the numbers from this week to move forward so we can create the business financial feasibility plan. Then we're going to develop your business concept. And after we get those 3 areas completed, we're going to dive into the business plan. So right now I have the business plan, or creating your business plan, broken up into 2 different parts, but I anticipating it being 3 or 4 different parts, or segments, I'm trying to say. So really understand that area is going to take some time. So guys, I know I've been talking a lot, so I'll end it right now. Thank you guys. You know, it's always a joy to come on here and share more information. And a lot of you guys have been reaching out to me personally, you know, so I appreciate that. You can contact me by text message, or you can even send me an email. I'll check it out, and, you know, we'll go from there. So ladies and gents, again, thank you for tuning in to another series of the Business Startup Journey. And you know, our mission and our goal is to teach every business owner and entrepreneur how to start a business with little or no money and no experience. So the weather's beginning to change, guys. I really hope you enjoy the end of summer and heading into a great fall year. Thank you, guys. Thank you as always. And you guys have a great week.